Brian. Right. Okay, let me let you go. Brian, as you were saying after your wonderful comments about our future Vice President Kamala Harris, what you were saying about the NBA chance before we start this live.
Okay, this is what the NBA should do. And I swear, like, if I was friends with LeBron James or even Chris Paul, they'd be like, you know what? We could do that. Look, because the whole world watches the NBA has the power to say, guess what, people? We are going to keep the NBA season going no matter how many black people you kill. We're going to play in this bubble, and we're going to broadcast this game to the whole entire world except for America until shit changes. That is what they should do forever until the change happens. And we know change is going to happen for maybe another 3 to 5 years until the new president follows through on his promise and breaks down the police union and laws are made so they can get punished rightfully for murdering unarmed people. They should do that. That would be sick.
That's a very inspired idea. The only problem though with that is that if it's getting definitely broadcast around the world, they're gonna still find a way to get the pirate streams, VPN, and we can easily still, sadly, gonna watch the games overall.
Oh no. Well, see, that's why I really believe in it, because I'm such a fan that I am gonna get myself in front of it, and Brian Cowan, is gonna watch it. But the bars, the nightclubs and the bars won't ever be able to show their games. TNT won't be showing it to American viewers, and the commercials won't be getting paid to the money to the TNT viewers, and they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, think about there's gonna be a large portion of mainstream NBA watchers who are going to suffer from this, and the fact that black people are getting murdered will stare in their minds saying, God damn, I'm not watching the NBA because these fucking cops aren't going to prison for murdering black people.
Well, Brian,
that will be in their mind forever until the NBA comes back.
You just answered your own question a bit, because the revenue is going to turn back to the players. So then the players aren't going to be able to make as much money as they were being previously paid, because some of their revenue comes from the streaming services, the digital rights, and the TV broadcasting revenue and rights. So they'll get money from the gate, but the gate is not enough. So either ticket prices and concessions would go up astronomically, or I don't know if China has enough money or would want to renegotiate their broadcasting rights so that the NBA can do something like that.
Not only China, Europe, England, like they watch the NBA. I have cousins in England, and they watch NBA.
They would have to, and then they would also have to deal with the scheduling dynamic that they would have to deal with as well. That's also
oh God, I feel like I didn't know what I was getting into.
well, Brian,
wait, I just missed what he said.
Do you feel that you wanna still continue the argument on that one, or?
No, I don't. He kind of closed the door on a lot of it.
No, it was a good idea.
I think. Sorry. No, it was good. I mean, sorry, not argument. Didn't mean to say argument. I mean, you're, in terms of anything you want to add towards that overall, because it was promising. James sort of makes you see what James was saying on his side of the thing.
Yeah, he got me. It's not like I have a answer to the business side of that. I mean, I was just thinking about eyes on the game and how the population of the world is larger than the population in America, and it's doable. But man, I guess what I don't want is for black millionaires to lose their income, man. And,
right. Yeah. And that's the big issue, right? Like, that's the big issue is even striking. There's an understanding that you will not be compensated for the strike. So part of that.
And by the way, wait, newsflash, because I am friends, like I'm an undercover friend to some white people who don't think that I'm black. Like when I was in Walmart, thing back, newsflash, most of the white people who don't care about our struggle don't watch the NBA any goddamn way. I was in Walmart and butted in a conversation, and he was like, I hope they do go on strike. I don't give a fuck about the NBA anyway. And even when I was in the Marine Corps, I was hearing that, not about the black struggle, but I was just hearing a lot of like people who come from a large portion spread out throughout America, whether it be Kentucky or whatever. It was like, all I care about is football or baseball. I like basketball a little bit, but I'd rather football or baseball. So really, who are you hurting when the NBA strikes? You're hurting your loyal fans and it's a shame.
Yeah, you're hurting the fans. You'd be hurting the players. I think that's what makes that decision so tough. I think if they boycotted, let's say for example, things go back to normal. If the players boycotted going to international games, that might be interesting. So you're keeping your domestic revenue instead of traveling abroad. You can say until we have our freedoms over here, we're not gonna leave the domestic land as a social cry, right? So that's one thing that you can do. Is it enough? No. I think that's what made it so huge. What the Bucks did, especially the way that they did it. I think the key thing, in my opinion, of the way they did it is a greater example without telling anyone, without it leaking. I thought it was problematic that the Celtics had it leak, that the Raptors were having it leak. To me, that's not how you do it, right? That's too much organization, right? It needed to be guerrilla style the way it was. True. It needed to just happen. Don't play.
Well, all I can say is that we could boycott both Nate McMillan getting stupidly fired by a ridiculous Pacers GM for their ridiculous pursuit of Mike D'Antoni, and we can sadly boycott the great Charles Barkley's guarantees. Because on that note, it's another episode of a basketball show has no name. Let's go!
I ain't so fly like a Chris Paul. The drink got him pissed off. We moving that pack in the mail is shipped off. We ballin' no tip off. Get up in the morning, thank God that I'm living, cause I know some people ain't wake up. God, please forgive me. I know I've been sinning. Go do the same shit when I wake up. Before bro died, he told me.
Show has no name. With the good Sir James Eddy and Brian Cowan join us once again. Song courtesy of my cousin Mike Oates, doing his thing all the way down in Virginia Beach, doing his thing right now. Get on Mike Oates, people. That's all I can say for those watching overall this live stream or stream on YouTube overall. And we're going to get in. We just had the heavy discussion right there in terms of the BLM process from the players. So we wanted to really at least address on that at the beginning, and we'll probably come back to that in the end. But fellas, all the way, good sir, that is the Luka Doncic global ambassador. That is Ryan Cowan, and the sir James Eddy, who Marcus Smart needs to be paying you because clearly you are a better version of the face than Marcus Smart overall.
I still don't see it.
Well, instead of people trying to say Usher out of nowhere, and then people trying to say Kanye to me last night, apparently, and I was at this picnic and I heard Kanye again. So, it was dark. It was dark. That's all I can say. It was dark. And that's the reason why that comparison happened. But as game one of between the Bucks and the Heat is going on, and the Bucks have now had their lead taken away, and it's now 78-78 Heat and Bucks. We'll get into that series for sure. But the first topic on my mind, before we get into anything with Luka Doncic related, because we'll be real quick with the topics, rapid tempo, is I didn't think I was going to say this because Nikola Jokic was my second favorite player after LeBron James. But he's not somehow the Nuggets' best player, amazingly enough, which is something I never thought I would be saying for the next 10 years. Jamal Murray out of nowhere, and I did say this, I felt that Jamal Murray, after the first 3-4 games of the series, because the Nuggets should have been won the series, all right? They should have been won this series overall, but it is what it is now. I felt that Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray couldn't be on the same team with each other in terms of who would be best for the organization to be the leader of the team overall in terms of putting the Nuggets to that level of truly being the elite of the game and not just pretenders. To me, they should have never lost to the Blazers last year, but it is what it is with that.
Oh, wow.
And now, after those first 4 games, I just said, well, Jamal's scoring, he's doing his thing, but the fact is the Nuggets are down 3-1 and he shoots a lot, and they just shouldn't be behind. And Nikola Jokic is the guy that makes the teammates better on their team. And they got Michael Porter emerging, blah, 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 all this other stuff. and Jamal Murray they could get in trade value for and get a lot in return. And now, after these past 2 games of the Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell show, and they might as well just decide Game 7, a game of 21 between Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. Your thoughts on that, good sirs, in terms of the Jamal Murray from a very streaky, excellent, all-star-ish player to now, like, damn, Jamal Murray now clearly is solidly playing like a top 8, top 9 player in this league. And this up.
Hell no, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian. You can go first because you look like you had stuff to say when Andrew was talking.
Well, nah, when he mentioned Michael Porter Jr., man, let me tell you how amazing this kid is.
He is very good.
Okay? You know what I'm going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it. It's going to be weird, but follow me. Y'all know the rapper Chamillionaire?
Of course.
Okay, he's not current anymore. Yo, embarrassing secret. When I first heard his album, Ultimate Victory.
Are you going to get riding dirty on us, Brian?
Well, I don't know if the whole album, even some songs that wasn't on the radio, this album was so good. It wasn't like off the charts good, but it was so enjoyable that I didn't notice until I got to the last track that whole album has no curse words in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the reason why this reminds me of Michael Porter Jr. is because I was so late on Michael Porter Jr. because he's coming off the bench and he didn't look like much and he just never came into my vision. So this playoff series forced me to watch him, and I'm like, oh shit, he's kind of good. That's all I said, kind of good, until I found out, wait a minute, this dude is dribbling the ball and shooting off the dribble like that, and he's 6'10".
Yes.
Holy shit.
Right. Because me and James would tell you for sure. Michael Porter was the number one.
I was just about to say, Brian.
And I thought you was basing on when you were saying Michael Porter in the chat and our text message earlier. I thought like you knew Michael Porter was the guy or whatever because that's what he was, in high school. He was the number one.
If you watch college basketball, Michael Porter Jr. was like hot. Well, it makes complete. He was like, if he did not get injured at Missouri, he would have been overall consensus number 1 pick for his draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's without a doubt. Put it this way, Brian. He played I think he played 1 game in his collegiate career.
Just
one game.
Yeah.
And he still was a lottery pick. Okay, that tells you how good he was.
Mm-hmm. And he really was. And this is a draft, mind you, because he was the same class as DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley. He reclassified up. And this, of course, Luka Doncic's draft, by the way. In America.
Oh wow, this draft is loaded.
In fact, let me show you all the way. This draft from just 2 years ago, as you see those names, and it is quite the draft because. Everyone in the top 10 almost like.
Oh my God!
Ayton a lot to be a star. Bagley the third, showing his promising talent. Doncic, of course. Jaren Jackson loved in Memphis. Trae Young, him and Doncic gonna have a comparison. Now Mo Bamba still developing.
Was Duncan in the draft?
Is who in the draft?
I think Duncan was probably in the draft too, right?
Duncan Robinson?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, sorry.
James is the expert on Duncan Robinson because he went to the same. He went to Williams all the way.
Okay.
Then Wendell Carter Jr. He's gonna be a player in this league for a while.
Yeah,
Solid. Only person in that top 10 that's a little suspect. It had to be Kevin Knox for the Knicks, but the Knicks had a chance to draft Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
The fucking Knicks.
Knox is gonna be a good player. Why are you hating because he's a Knick?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will bet a lot of money that he won't be a good player just because he's in the Knicks.
No, bro, he's gonna be solid.
I was high on Knox in Kentucky, but I could see the problems because everyone thought, he's just he could be a younger Durant or bootleg.
No.
Like Kevin Durant because he has that style like that. But James, that's what it's supposed to be. But he's been very disappointing. It's the second season now. Yeah, different coaches and the Knicks are just.
Well, it's not even just that. That's not who he. To me, he's a 3-and-D. Maybe you get 12 to 15 points per game. If he's averaging 12 to 15 points per game,
better than that, James, because you
he
guys
ain't better. See, that's the problem. That's y'all New York bias with that. He's a 12 to 15 game player. He ain't no KD. Nah,
well,
that's never
gonna be no KD. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, meanwhile, when we
he was better.
About that,
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with you there. He was better. He was a better prospect for what you guys needed.
That's true.
Yeah, he was a better prospect for that.
Their freshman season at Kentucky, both of them even, but we're getting off topic to these. Awesome
Yeah.
Because at least Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is in the playoffs, so that's my phone derailing. But Michael Porter Jr. he was 14, so this is how talented the Nuggets are. They got Michael Porter Jr. and Bo Ball, who both could have been the number 1 overall pick in their draft if they didn't have the injuries in their college seasons. And mind you, the Nuggets are doing this without Will Barton, who's always electric and scored 30 any time a game. This is why the Nuggets and Mike Malone, who I like as a coach, I think Mike Malone is a very, very good coach. Honestly, despite them struggling to play pick and roll defense, so it's just something where I just thought that Jamal Murray would be a surplus overall, and at this point he shot too much. And by the way, Jamal Murray, if mind you, at the All-Star game this year, when it seemed like February 2020 seemed like it was 2010. If y'all remember the story, this one of the best stories of 2020 is Jamal Murray, and James, you may remember this. Something happened in terms of something got leaked apparently, or hacked. His phone got hacked.
I do remember that.
Because it flashed in my mind again after last night's performance and everything. And people said it overall. So you had that go down. And I just didn't think he was going to be a guy that was going to be a number 1 player for a title championship team. And now, even if it's in this NBA summer camp Disney bubble, it's impressive what he said. I mean, the dude, who's scoring 50 straight points 4-second games? Only 3 other people, or I think it was 50 points 2 straight games in the playoffs. Because it was AI, I think it was Jordan. I got to see even LeBron didn't do that, even though LeBron didn't need to do that. But
yeah, exactly.
Well, the key issue, as I've been always telling Andrew, there are 2 teams that are essentially the same team, right? Like the build of them, they're like the same team, right? So it's not surprising to me that Mitchell and Murray are the ones, because that's their role on those teams is to score. So it's not surprising to me to see them going back and forth. And when push comes to shove, when their team needs scoring and needs it, they're the 2 who are going to battle it out. When it's time for them to win and you have to make shots, those are the 2. Now, Andrew and I have also gone back and forth about, I wouldn't say back and forth, I think we're kind of in agreement that we think Gary Harris there's room for Gary Harris to step up and take the growth. The question we both have been, is he a prolific enough scorer for them to get rid of Jamal Murray to have that happen? And now I think Jamal Murray's kind of stamping that, like, in my mind, as I said to Andrew before, Jamal Murray was one of the few dudes I've seen as a freshman when Kentucky was going up against those, like, teams that had a starting 5 that played together for 3 or 4 years. He was still the only dude on those Kentucky teams that no one could stop from scoring. Like, no one could move him off a straight line drive. If he wanted to drive straight line and get to the bucket, he could do it in college. And Donovan Mitchell was also like that too. So their games were kind of similar. Jamal Murray had a better shot though. So yeah, it's not really, I don't know. It's surprising to me to see the volume of points that they're scoring, but to see them do it, it's not, and it's against each other. It makes sense to me. Both teams are kind of just like the same in that way. They're just very, like Utah and Denver. And then if they went up against other teams, you'd be like, oh, okay. Their positives and their pros and cons against every other team will be very similar.
Well, we'll say.
But you know what's so sad about both? Sorry, I stopped.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying, what's so sad about both those teams is that they don't match up really well against the Clippers. Like, I cannot see them beating the Clippers.
Well,
Like,
wait
to me,
a
they're
minute.
both deep
Clippers,
teams.
Wait a
Uh-oh.
minute. Before the Clippers, I'm trying to think. Don't they put it? I thought they were
They're 4 or 5, right? That's 4 or 5. Who's playing?
Yeah, I mean.
No, they're not 4-5. Are they? Am I
3-6?
stupid?
Well,
Yeah, I think they're 3-6.
Yeah, they're 3-6. They're 3-6.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah, they're 3-6.
Unless the NBA started doing like the NFL with like the number.
Nah.
NHL.
You mean the NHL?
NHL
No, the NFL does it to where if you got the bye and you're the number 1 seed, you take on the team that's like the lowest seed that came out the wild card rounds. As we all know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking
I thought you were
along
talking
those
about
lines.
the
No.
It's a better.
The NHL completely reseeds though. Like they completely reseed.
Wait a minute.
But I'm an advocate for no East, no West. Like, I'm an advocate for just having the best 16 teams go at it.
Right,
wait, can I tell you a bit? I'm gonna tell you this: we've all been robbed as NBA fans because of this East-West thing. We never, ever got to see LeBron and Kobe go at it in the playoffs. That pisses me off.
I know, but Brian, we gotta stay on topic on that one.
Sorry, I'm gonna shut up about that. You're right.
Real quick, do y'all think for this game 7, first, like I said, it should be Murray and Mitchell. It should be the Murray and Mitchell show. Whoever scores the most points, their team advances. But do you think, though, now that the Nuggets are going to just take this now, especially with Gary Harris back, that, they're going to finally take the series and move on to the second round to take on the Clippers?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
I was gonna say that is a fantastic question.
Wow.
I like similar to what Brian said. Even though they're adding Gary Harris, it literally is the Spider-Man meme to me in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Harris, it was still competitive, but it was
right. So when the Jazz were up 3-1, I wasn't surprised. And when now that the Nuggets have come back, I'm still not surprised. So it's like, now it's like game 7, and it's like, I think it's going to be entertaining. I think they're going to go back and forth. I honestly think the Nuggets should pull it out because from a talent perspective, I feel like they are just a little bit better than the Jazz because the Jazz are a little bit longer in the tooth. I feel like some of those guys' legs have come and gone. I always felt like the Nuggets, if they could stretch it to 7, the depth and the amount of games and the trauma that has been the Jazz season. Because remember, they're the ones who really got the COVID party started off in the NBA.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's been a lot for them. I can also see how they could, if good coaching can get them to turn that around and use it as a positive motivation factor and get them to get to the next round. But even if they get to the next round, I still think they're going to get cooked. Because I think it's just been such a long season for them. So I think for better matchup for the next series, I think I would like to see the Nuggets win.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I really do feel like the Nuggets is a slightly better matchup, more against the Clippers. But I just have this bad, I shouldn't say bad feeling. I feel like the Jazz are gonna win. I don't want them to win.
Me too.
I feel like the Jazz are gonna win. And the reason why I feel like the Jazz are gonna win is because the Nuggets, other than Murray, were all the other players weren't doing that great. Like they were just doing when I look at Utah Jazz, their defensive guy, that French guy, I forgot his name. Sorry. Wow, what is his name?
Rudy Gobert.
Is he from France?
Yes.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert. Like, okay, he is from France. Yeah, like I said, like I like looking at players even when they don't have the ball in his hands. Like, yo, he's doing his job. He is protecting the paint. He's not getting in foul trouble, and he's not expending too much energy. And I just feel like Utah is just got things going their way. I don't know the reason why. And I also feel like Michael Porter. I just feel like Nuggets have a brighter future than Utah. But Utah knows the time is now, and then Utah's probably going to win. And I'm saying in the future, Michael Porter Jr. is going to fuck people and fuck them up. I can see it. He's strong too. He's just defensively very weak. I noticed like his feet are heavy. Like I see his lateral movement on the perimeter. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, dude?
You went
Someone
from
needs to teach him.
You went from lauding Michael Porter Jr. to mentioning if actually like how he will definitely have to prove his whole strengths overall. But but at least you know that Michael Porter Jr., as I said, it would be disappointing if he does not come close to maybe a Kevin Durant-esque career overall, because he's always had that ability. But
that's too much. You're expecting too much. Jesus Christ.
I'm not, but remember, I mean, just like KD, like Michael Porter Jr. was thought to be the number one person in his class overall because KD had to deal with Greg Oden. And
here goes the difference between the two, Andrew.
That's a good comparison. You heard that, Andrew? That's a good one.
Well, that's been his comparison, really, in terms of being like long, with guard skills and can shoot.
My issue is I feel like scouts throw names around as comps too willy-nilly. When you saw Kevin Durant play in Texas, you knew it was a wrap when he got to the league.
Yeah, right? But at least if Michael Porter Jr. had that year in Memphis, Missouri, I think I'm not saying he would have exactly the same season, but I think he did his damage and did it with South.
So I feel like my issue is I feel like when you're using those comps, you can't use that comp going based off a high school competition, and then you also can't let him be his own Michael Porter Jr. Because to me, when we saw Ben Simmons, it got me mad because everybody was like, Ben Simmons might be the next LeBron. I was like, no, Ben Simmons is the next LeBron. Ben Simmons, right?
So now that's when it don't make no damn sense.
See, but my thing is, but that's my thing. Michael Porter Jr. When I saw him, when you watch his tape, his highlights is what I was trying to say. Mm-hmm. When you watch it, the game is similar because he shoots, but their styles that they play the way they move is different, right? It was it's a little bit, so that's my thing. I understand the need for comps, but when you throw out somebody like Kevin Durant, like I said, Kevin Durant was one of the few people you watched in college and in college in particular, you were like, oh, that dude is like far better than anyone else he's playing against. Like far better than anyone else he's playing. Like, remember when we watched Michael Beasley, Andrew, when we were in college? We were like,
that's the name. Oh.
Well, you know what? I mean, Michael Beasley still had his natural score moments. Yeah, you could see.
He was a double machine, but both you and I were like, he's a tweener. He's not. He out physicaled everybody. He also was someone who reclassed and played when he was 19. Like, right? It wasn't a substantial enough where when you saw like Blake Griffin at Oklahoma, you were like, oh, that dude's different, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. You didn't try to come with a player comp. You knew Blake was going to go to the league and he was going to be his own Blake Griffin. That's what I'm saying. You knew when he was gone, he was going to create his own lane. KD was
Which Kardashian did he have sex with? Y'all remember? Nah, I just wonder.
All right, we can almost gather you on the true, genuine, red question right now, man. That's authentic and real. That is what the basketball show has no name is all about. Moments like that. You know, I was about to say the whole boring. Well, what about Dirk Williams and like against Kyrie Irving, and that can't even be top.
Oh gosh, but again, that's a similar comp, right? When you saw Dirk Williams, you were like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. I did get hyped over that game, and I was like, the man hasn't said it, but then I was like, cautionary tale though. He's definitely flaky to not be a franchise player. So I know Dirk Williams and Michael Beasley, they might as well have just battled each other and whatnot, even though it's the same player overall. And that's what it could have been. Now, you know, with this Heat Bucks series, what's so interesting is this game one is going on is that Eric Bledsoe's actually not playing this game one because of his hand.
Round of applause.
But
how I feel about that. You know how I feel about him.
But they need him to keep Goran Dragic, even though, you know, most of these guys don't defend each other to pick and roll, but they need him to keep Goran Dragic honest on the other end because Goran Dragic is continuing to shoot the lights out here so far. He's had another great game one, and people will see this as the recording is when this game is over, whether we get this when the game is over before this recording. But Goran Dragic already 9-13 in this game. He's going to have at least 27 points. But, so Milwaukee had the lead early in the game, but the Heat, once again, being as dogged and competitive they are with their 8 billion guards that can shoot or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But this is a game where, Giannis, even he's only taken 10 shots at least, not that many shots, still 2 of 4 from 3. And most importantly, this is a game to me the Heat now, need to win it. Because if the Bucks, are managing to do the Heat's best right now, and the Heat already having to change their rotation with Duncan Robinson struggled in this game, Kendrick Nunn is back, I think for sure that
Kendrick Nunn.
Because Butler and Dragic, they're going off this game. But this is something where, yes, the Heat are very dangerous. It's Ty Hero knocking down 3 overall. But I still prefer the Bucks, though, in this series. And they're doing the boxing one against Giannis, like how Nick Nurse did last year. Middleton stepping up, even though Butler just stripped him on this or whatnot. Do you feel that the Heat certainly can pull off the upset? But do you feel the Heat will pull up? Will you feel the Heat will pull off the upset?
No.
You mean in this game or overall?
Overall.
To say will they?
We know they can. But
yeah. All right. You know what I think? I think at first I was saying they probably will, but as I watched the game,
take the bait, Brian. When you take the bait,
sorry, you're right. It's just a yes or no. You're right. It's a yes or no.
No. You don't even know yes or no. You're explaining great.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is this: the Bucks should utilize Lopez as far as when Adebayo's not in the game, because without Adebayo, the Heat don't stand a chance at controlling that paint. So for real, they don't. So and for that reason,
you saying Kenny Olynyk is not an intimidating force?
Nah, he's not. Even when he was in Boston, I look at him as a scrappy, skilled because he could shoot and all that shit, kind of player. But to contend with someone like Lopez or Giannis, it ain't happening.
In an arm locker, Kevin Love. An arm bar locker, Kevin Love.
Oh yeah! What a dirty bastard! Oh,
that along with Kyrie getting hurt.
Man,
we may not have a war.
Yeah, LeBron would have probably anyway. LeBron would have gotten that ring on his first bout against the Warriors if he had Kevin Love. But Olynyk made sure that Kevin Love wasn't going to be in it. Man, what a dirty bastard. But, no, so you know what I think? I think that the Bucks are going to win in a Game 7, and it's going to be close. And I think the reasons why the Bucks is going to win is because Jimmy Butler offensively is not going to be enough. And I also think it's because Giannis is going to just get to the line and get fouled, and then that's just going to – I don't know. It could be, but I don't know. I don't know so much. You know me. I like West Coast ball more, but when I'm looking at it – here's one thing that y'all not going to agree is that I feel like whoever wins this beats whoever between Toronto and Celtics. Because to me, this team, when I look at Miami and I look at the Bucks, to me they have a more complete, more versatile roster, definitely more than Celtics because the Celtics is undersized. And even though Toronto has a very versatile roster, Toronto does not have a take over the game player at all. I know that improving dude, whatever his name is improving.
Improving dude.
Siakam, sorry.
Improving dude is a new nickname.
Sorry. I'm sorry, that's dumb.
It's all good.
No, it's not. It's actually good.
I just feel like these two teams are better.
Everybody keeps talking about how he's the improving dude, but
that Game 1 yesterday was a real rough go for him.
Because they have
the Celtics match up against them, man. Like they
not only just
they do actually. They match up real well against him.
I think the big thing is what you got to think about is the Celtics have been game planning to stop a bigger small forward for the past.
Oh, that's true.
Jaylen Brown was drafted. So we're talking about like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so funny about
dynamic small forward hybrid beast thing, right? So you can't come at them with a Siakam when they're getting ready for LeBron's and Giannis. And I love me some Siakam.
That's such a good point.
I love Siakam,
this.
but like that's what the Celtics are built. That's why I kept saying, like, if they get past the Sixers, it really is going to take a Kyle Lowry, like, pulling the ultimate Kyle Lowry experience where you're just like, why let this dude just go away? And he just goes Kyle Lowry.
Brian, what did you call him yesterday, Brian?
Kyle Lowry?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. I called him a little bitch. I don't know what I called him.
My Lord.
I forgot what I called him. I'm sorry.
You called him a CURD in terms of
Oh yes, he's a little turd.
I love Kyle Lowry. I like Kyle Lowry back when he was in college. I figured
he was really feeling real bad then.
Always. Like, so to me, it just,
he's known out because of DeMar DeRozan.
He has.
And him finding a home and when he was with Houston. Jay Wright loves him because he was still Philly. He was at home, but he had that Philly edge though for sure. Shout out to Alan Ray. Shout out to
Alan Ray. What a name.
You know,
Alan Ray could shoot. That dude could shoot.
Yep. Alan Ray, Randy Floyd, Mike Nardi. When they had them 4 guards in Villanova, they was cooking that day, and that's when Jay Wright knew he had himself a system. Then Scotty Reynolds and then they just kept on the guard.
Kyle Lowry used to defend the small forward when he was at Villanova.
Yes, he did. In fact, you're right.
He was so tenacious. He used to fall. He used to defend the small forward because he could defend the post so well because he was so stocky.
Yep. Stocky.
He was my favorite player to watch because every time I saw him, I was like, if I was gonna be in college, like if I played college ball, that's who I would be. I would be Kyle Lowry. I'd be that guy who just kind of, why is he playing this position? He's too small. Why is he there? Why is he there? So I love me some Kyle Lowry because of that. But like I said, because he doesn't fit that, like there's nothing you can kind of do to get, you're not going to game plan for Kyle Lowry. So that's what makes him kind of throw a wrench in everybody's plan because you're not game planning for him. Right? So it's like all of a sudden, here you go, 32 points and 6 rebounds from Kyle Lowry out of nowhere. And 4 steals and 2 of them were like in crunch time. Like that's what it's gonna be. Because if they're facing the Celtics up and up, the Celtics have been preparing for this for a while. They're like, nah, we're waiting for you. So I feel like if they play Miami, I feel like the Celtics will have a problem with Miami. Bucks Celtics will be a very interesting series. I still think the Bucks will win that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. To me, it's a wrap. Like when I see Miami and I think about the Celtics, I'm like, see the thing that gets Celtics to beat teams because they beat teams that don't have heart and don't have their shit together. The Miami Heat have their shit together and then some. Yeah. And their starting lineup has their shit together. Their bench has their shit together, dude. And that's why the Celtics will crumble against Miami because Miami has better, younger talent and they're slightly better shoot.
Whoa, Brian, wait a minute.
Hold on. Hold on for a second. Wait, when I say better, younger talent, I'm talking about in numbers. Because because look, if they go against each other, the what's his name? The pretty guy who plays for the Celtics. I can't remember his name.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. Like, Jason Tatum is a marquee player in that matchup, no doubt. But when I talk about better, younger talent, I'm saying strength in numbers. Miami got plenty of young dudes who can all shoot and they can defend and they play, like they dive for loose balls and they play playoff basketball during the regular season.
But are they, I'm telling you, and this is the thing with Miami against Milwaukee, no matter how much heart they have and have Adebayo be so outstanding in what he does in terms of these fundamentals and everything, like they still are small though. And they got lucky against the Pacers because the Pacers, it was the Heat full strength practically, even though they have Kendrick Nunn. But the Pacers didn't have Sabonis, and that was, they not have Sabonis, and like at least 2.5 of those games were tight. That was a big difference in that series overall. Why Nate McMillan shouldn't have gotten fired. But
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
Like, yo, I would love for him to coach the Nets. Yo, let him coach the Nets. That's a good coach.
Well, the Nets are good with Jock Vaughn. I can definitely show
Nate
you
McMillan's
that.
going to the Sixers. Calm it down.
Well,
even that. You know what? I'd rather him go to the Sixers.
That would be great for him overall. But the reason why this fool, and it was a GM analytics nerd, that is, as Charles Barkley would say, overall, that made the decision. But Chad Buchanan, with his no NBA basketball playing expertise or whatnot, it's only little Joe.
So that means, so you know what that tells me, Andrew? That tells me he was given lineups to play, and Nate McMillan didn't play those lineups.
Well, actually, the reason why is because they said Mike D'Antoni is available. The Rockets didn't sign to extension. We could maybe get Mike D'Antoni and feel like we have upgraded. We got Mike D'Antoni. It's like
so you're gonna get Mike D'Antoni with no James Harden? Like Mike D'Antoni's system does not work without James Harden or Steve Nash, right? Like so, unless you're pulling Steve Nash,
what the fuck, bro?
Well, he thinks the same. They think that Brogdon.
You pulling him time travel?
They think they think Malcolm Brogdon can come next Steve Nash. I mean, he does.
I love me some Malcolm Brogdon too, but he ain't Steve Nash nor James Harden. He's more like Jimmy Butler.
Fuck that.
What are we?
Yeah, he ain't even close. I think he lost a step. As a matter of fact, when he was on the Bucks, I was like, yo, this dude is gonna be pretty good. And then when I saw the true him on the Indiana Pacers without Giannis diverting attention away from him, I'm like, yo, this dude could barely dribble. Seriously, he could barely dribble. I'm not saying he has bad dribble. I'm saying his dribble ain't even up to par to most perennial, not even perennial, most regular stars. Like his handle isn't even there.
What? Wait.
Malcolm Brogdon. I'm not saying. Yeah, Brogdon. No. Look at his handle. His handle is about as bad as Drew Bledsoe's handle. It's just regular. There's nothing extra to it. You want to see good handle? Look at my man Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell got handle. Freaking your boy from the Nuggets with the.
Yeah, just because Malcolm Brogdon don't always dribble between his legs doesn't mean that he's not fundamentally sound. Even on his weaker hand, he's got a real good solid hand. I mean, it doesn't like he gets stripped with the ball. You know.
I'm not saying he's Robin Lopez with the handle. I'm saying that there's nothing extra to him. He has basic fundamental handle. That's it. He doesn't have that extra, oh shit, I'm gonna get by anyone handle like Donovan Mitchell or all these other guards. This is the 21st century. You need better handle than that. That's the way I see it. Really, that's the way I see it. To me, he's very pedestrian.
Well, we'll leave it on time because the Pacers are out there. They're out the playoffs. And just switch it overall, and we'll talk more about the Bucks Heat as the series progresses. And on the
Let's talk about Luka.
And the Raptors. I know you want to talk about Luka, but the Raptors and the Celtics. And
I'm smiling too much. I love you guys so much, man.
Real quick with the Raptors and Celtics is that, as I talked to James about this before, is that I felt Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year this year and everything like that. Yes, he did decent things and whatnot, and they played well without Kawhi and everything, but played really great, actually. And they've gotten Masai Ujiri, what can you say? The guy just knows how to – he shows that you do not have to do like Sam Hinkie did, not be lazy, be a real GM, and just literally figure the 20 to develop players and have a system to develop. And not be thinking that, I invented something amazing because I'm a white man who is so smart with MIT connects, and I can just tank every single time and get players and think that we're brilliant. No, you do the work like this Nigerian and really whip people's behinds or whatever and show how to actually develop players. I mean, Chris Boucher, who didn't play in high school, has developed better than Ben Simmons' jump shot. So what needs to be said on that overall, Now, just real quick with the Raptors, still though, Siakam certainly has to really be great this series if they want to win the series. I still give him the chance, even though I picked the Celtics, but as Brian picked the Raptors at the beginning, but that could happen. You never know. But is this something where even if Kyle
I still stick with the Raptors because the Raptors is body. Sorry.
Well, the Raptors, you can understand, but it's just that I feel that Nick Nurse I felt last year he got lucky. Kawhi Leonard traveled on the 4 bounce shot, which was also, of course, lucky. But they got through the Sixers narrowly because who knows who's going to win that series. Then Mike Budenholzer, he blew the series last year for the Bucks taking on the Raptors. They whacked the Heat the first 2 games, and then he panicked when Mirotic went 1 for 11 in Game 3 when they still could have won that game. So it was similar to like the Mavericks versus the Heat in the 06 playoffs where the Mavericks really should have went 3-0 up.
Oh my God.
And Dirk should have had a title back then and stuff. And D-Wade wouldn't have had any title. And people would have said,
Andrew, you went to time traveling. It happened.
Oh, no.
They lost. It's all right.
I'm just I'm glad this is why James is my guy. The whole big guy was just like that. But I'm just giving a reason. So they close the series. And Nick Nurse said, boxing 1 on Giannis. Boxing 1 on Giannis. And the only reason why that worked is because Budenholzer benched Mirotic, and Mirotic is the Bucks' best streaky shooter, and that closed the space on Giannis, and the Bucks fell apart and lost 4 straight. And then of course the Warriors, KD gets hurt first. He comes to the series hurt. Then KD gets hurt in the middle of the series in Game 5. Then I'm mad that I can't celebrate in Toronto or whatnot in Toronto up there and trying to see the celebration. I had to leave before Game 6. And then Klay Thompson gets hurt in late Game 6. And they just still edge him out.
You know?
And now Brad Stevens slightly better, even though Brad Stevens couldn't handle Kyrie Irving last year, and it took a reputation on him. After the season, he's gotten back to the coach to me that he's supposed to be. And I just feel like he's always been definitely slightly better than Nick Nurse. It was that to me, better than Nick Nurse, despite Nick Nurse getting, he's bringing boxing 1 and all these different styles. Well, there's a reason why so many styles don't work.
Well, look, I don't like the Celtics, but to me, neither of them is a better coach than the guy who coaches the Celtics, that young dude. Like, that dude, I got to give him all the credit in the world. So when he first came on the scene, I'm like, that dude.
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
The young coach who coaches Boston.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Brad. That's what I was talking about, Brad Stevens. You was talking that. You know something?
Oh, you know what? No, I thought you were talking about more about the Bucks coach and the Toronto coach. My bad.
Yeah, and then I said, like, I felt Brad Stevens is better than Nick Nurse.
Oh, okay. My bad. That slipped by my eardrums, man. My bad.
No problem. I was saying a lot of points there. So, you know what it is. And by the way, I might as well broadcast the end of this Bucks Heat game at the same time. But
you gonna try to get us taken down again?
No, I'm not gonna.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna switch it. And by the way, they don't NBA. You can allow on they don't DMCA that. Well, we thought they didn't DMCA that, and then they DMCA inside the NBA in England on damn Twitter. I can't even air that on there now. But real quick, since we have got to talk about Luka Doncic's first.
Oh, yes.
Me and my cousin, my young cousin, who you heard at the top of the show with his music, we will have an exclusivity. I told Brian all the way, James, we are making a song called Luka Doncic since no other black rappers are going to be doing that overall. And it's just something where it was like, because hey, everyone will make a LeBron song. Everyone may make a KD song. We got to know Jordan references for the rest of the time, and everyone did a Kobe song before Kobe passed away, and then certainly after.
Oh, jeez.
You know, but Luka Doncic, let's just say that there's not going to be a song for Nikola Jokic unless I decide to do. Now there's a song for Drazen Petrovic, the great.
There's probably a Serbian rap song for Nikola Jokic. You probably just don't know.
I'm gonna ask my guy David Vojnovic, who should have been on an episode of America's Increased Soccer. The good sir overall. I'm gonna ask him if there is a Serbian song. He's in London. He's a London Serbian Englishman all the way. I'm gonna ask him. But Luka, there's a song we're gonna do because Luka has earned that all the way. With that being said, and then Marcus Morris, you know, I will say this because Brian has some heated words about Marcus Morris. Brian, take it away.
Yo, man, let me tell you something about Marcus Morris. Here's one thing that I don't know if I said it to you already, Andrew. I didn't think that Luka Doncic was stronger or more powerful than Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris looked like a goon. And I'm like, nah, he ain't tougher or stronger than this nigga. He is. You can see it on the drive how Marcus Morris is bodying up against him in different possessions, and how Luka's strength uproots him off of his planted feet defending in the post. That dude, Luka Doncic, is deceptively strong. I didn't know that about him. They keep trying to punk him because I guess that's what they hope it works, but nah, it doesn't work. And Luka's he has a don't back down personality, and you know what? That's why I think I'm in love. Like, yo, that dude is great. Oh man, he's great. He is so fucking good, man.
Well, I mean, say that, then imagine how you'll compliment both his parents, in particular one parent of his overall. So, it's something where Luka, as I said earlier, for sure, plenty of times, is that, he might as well, he just say, lighter version of James Harden, like more girth, a little taller, but, he took the step back from Jay Harden, passing the course on point, better rebounder, obviously, great rebounder, for it. But,
Andrew, remember what I said to you in a text message? Remember what I said, how I said that to me, Luka, like I didn't compare him to James. I was like, yo, to me, Luka Doncic is like Magic Johnson, and I can't remember who I said, but I meant it when I said it.
Larry Bird too.
No, I didn't say Larry Bird because I really don't compare him to Larry Bird because he's more. Who do you remember who it was? It was Magic Johnson and someone else. But whoever it was, I was like, it was Magic Johnson. Oh, I did say James Harden. I said Magic Johnson and James Harden got together, had a baby, and then LeBron James adopted that baby. That is what Luka Doncic remind me of. The reason why I don't compare him to Larry Bird is because Larry Bird was more of a
much better shooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was more of a shooter, and he was taller, and he wasn't as mobile as Magic Johnson or LeBron James or James Harden, and he didn't have the ball handling skills that Luka has. So that's why, to me, he doesn't even remind me of Larry Bird. He doesn't. Only a few things he does remind me of Larry. He really reminds me because of his ball handling, like James Harden, kind of like LeBron, and his passing really reminds me of Magic Johnson because this dude's court vision is sick. Mm-hmm. This dude's court vision is sick, and his defense, because here's the thing, Luka Doncic is not a defensive player at all, but if you watch him on defense, he's not Steve Nash. He can defend. He's not a pushover, and he has size.
By the way, we're broadcasting in this game out of bio with a great rebound. And Tyler Hero with a 3. And Jimmy Butler, you got to give him credit because the Bucks, they went and responded back with a 3 from Lopez. But Jimmy Butler, you got to give him credit down the stretch. He doing his thing. He scored on George Hill on a turnaround. He got on him there, and he getting all hyped and everything, saying that I'm a top 5 player now. I don't know where, even though he's
not even top 10.
Anthony Towns, and Deputy said no, and Rick Nichols gave the whole, Jimmy Butler, you're seeing so cool, so let me give you this amazing interview because I want to be in the whole gossip type thing and whatnot, and that's why Rachel Nichols is really unbearable at to be sad or whatnot overall.
She's not unbearable. Come on.
Andrew's still getting at Rachel Nichols.
No, I know. Yo, I heard Skip Shameless say that your boy Kyrie Irving, like, he was talking about how Jeff Van Gundy was watching the Dallas game, doing the commentate, and it was like, yo, Luka is already a top 5 player in the league. And I'm like, hold on there. And then, so Skip was just like, yo, I like Jeff Van Gundy, but he is not top 5. He's not even top 10, not even top 15. I'm like, no, you hold on there. So this is what I'm saying right now real quick. Because Kevin Durant Kevin Durant's not top 5 because he's not playing. He's injured. So I'm not talking about people who's injured. I'm talking about right now, not of all time or in history. Right now in the league, for the players who are playing, I do think he's top 5 or number 6. It's close. Luka is. Because Kevin Durant's not playing. Steph Curry's not playing. Klay Thompson, they're all not playing. So out of the people who are playing right now and how I'm judging their performance right now with my eyeballs, he's top 5. He's number 5 or he's number 6. Really, he is. Luka is. He's number 5. And when Durant comes back, he'll go down to maybe number 7 or number 8 if Durant, or if you want to put Steph Curry over him.
Would you rather have Luka over AD?
Over Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
You mean for the rest of my life or for just 1 year?
1 year.
I think I'm Luka, and here's why. Because Luka makes better decisions on the court than AD.
What
Luka,
defense does Luka play?
okay, no, I value defense, which is why I will take Giannis over Luka. Yeah, but to me,
I was just trying to understand because to me your question is very interesting. I think top 5 of active players, and I respect that because I agree with that. I think if we're moving Steph, we're moving KD.
yeah.
And who do we have remaining? Top 5. I'm like, he might be in there because I'm thinking like, okay, we got Giannis. I think to me,
Giannis and LeBron, easy.
Well, LeBron
is better than him.
Kawhi.
They're 1A, 1B. Kawhi.
And then
Harden.
Yes, you got to include Harden in that, definitely all the way.
And then the 5 slot is like, there's a lot of people on that 5 slot right now, right?
But it's him. Yo, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, for me, I would definitely put not only AD, but also Dame Lillard, even though Lillard's undersized, but Dame, dynamic, with the numbers he put up and everything, I'm going to have to, and how his range, he's really tried to build off from what Steph Curry has done in terms of his range being that crazy like that and being that prolific overall. But Doncic then is like right in that tier for sure. But I just think that they're definitely 5 better players because of what all those 5, at least that I mentioned, with the exception of Harden. Harden stepped up with his defense this season. But I feel like they're better defensively. I mean, LeBron here and there, but he has to rest his energy. But he still can have a dynamic.
Oh, of course he's still better. LeBron is a major shot blocker.
Yes, I mean, definitely. But, he's still, defensively, he has to still take his breaks overall. So, and I honestly feel if he sometimes would play aggressive, which he can, and when he's in shape, that
oh my God, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't get a chance to who I was gonna say yet. Now,
not LeBron?
Well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is that a player that I'm about to name, because Luka Doncic has already been given the best European player right now title, and I'm like, there's some of the times before lately where Nikola Jokic could say, hold up, wait a minute now.
Fuck you!
Like Nikola Jokic. Do not sleep on Nico now. Jimmy Butler again. He's
How dare you?
In the guy credit. In the fourth quarter lately, he is trying to be a closer. He is putting it down all the way. All the way. Middleton knocks it down, and it's a 7-point game now. So the Heat not with victory yet, as I do this whole thing. But and the Bucks with some full court. Oh, Crowder! Oh, he had to call timeout. They had 1 second left to advance it. They almost got the 8 seconds, and Crowder, he slipped and really traveled there. So it's exciting to say. But what I will say though, Luka's right there for sure. And I'm telling you, next season, Trae Young and Steph Curry will have something to say about it, as well as even.
No, there's a lot of people, but that's why I said Brian's conversation
is interesting.
When you say active, again, not in that term active still playing. I mean like active. Like not like playing in the last 50 games, right? Like played in the last 50 games. It is a very interesting question.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm sorry. To me, Trae Young ain't even close to sniff. Like that was insulting for you to even mention Trae Young. To me, the only person that let me tell you. No. So listen, I like Trae Young, but when you look at what does Trae Young do for his team, it doesn't measure up to what Luka does. To me, the only person who's beneath Luka that could surpass him seriously is that dude in Phoenix, that young boy in Phoenix. I forgot his name. But
Devin Booker?
Devin Booker could possibly, if he ups his game even more.
Well, Devin Booker, I was going to say, if you coming to the league was before Luka.
Yeah, I was about to say.
For sure. And Devin Booker can say himself, wait a minute, I know Doncic's putting up numbers, but he shoot a lot. And when I'm one-on-one against him, he definitely not stopping me. I scored 70 in the game.
I was gonna say, don't bring up Devin Booker to enhance your argument, Brian, because Devin Booker, some people can claim might be better than Luka Doncic just on the sorry
So
song.
wait, so this is where you guys are not understand what I'm saying. I'm saying offensively, Devin Booker is superior to Doncic already. Like, to me, that's not a question. But that's offensively. I'm saying because the only thing Devin Booker does better than Luka is shoot and score. Luka, what you call it? Passes the ball better, rebounds the ball better. He really does.
He should.
Right, and he rebounds the ball better. Like here's the thing. I watch Luka's game because I have nothing else to do, and I'm watching him. I'm like, yo, dude. I look at his positioning on rebounds and how he boxes people out, and he's either getting a rebound or he's boxing out the center. That's why I compared him to Magic Johnson. His little ass, he boxes out the center so his teammate can get the rebound. And I'm like, yo, Devin Booker ain't got it like that.
You're making Luka seem like he's 6'3" or what? I mean, he's taller than Charles Barkley.
He's only 6'7", isn't he?
He's 6'7". That's not.
Yeah, he's little compared to a center. Don't you agree?
I mean, but look, Russell Westbrook, even though some rebounds he does get untested, but Russell Westbrook gets rebounds and he's shorter than Luka Doncic. So, but Luka's a very great rebounder, honestly, for his size and on young status overall. But
and that's why he's better than Devin Booker right now. And I'm saying if Devin Booker would have turned his game into like a Michael Jordan type game where he could defend at a high level and be super, super clutch like Kobe, which is possible.
Booker can defend. Don't sleep on his.
No. I'm not saying he cannot defend. I'm saying he's not a strong enough defender to put him over Luka.
What is Luka doing defensively?
No, what Brian is saying is that's not a factor enough. His defense is not good enough to overcome everything else that Luka does.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is this. I don't like Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard is better than Luka because of that defense. If Kawhi was not defending at that level, Luka is better than him. That's what I'm saying. So it's like to make up,
My thing is that both of them, I hate to be like the person that say, oh, the playoffs matter like that, but they do matter. They do matter with that, and both Doncic and Booker. I felt Booker would have had his moment for sure if the Celtics were lucky, and they would have, to me, beat the Blazers in that 8-9 game or whatever. And even though I think would have lost to the Lakers, it would have been.
They didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they didn't, but then again, for Monty Williams purposes and Blackpool solidarity, it would have been wonderful overall. And they played great. I mean, they were undefeated in the bubble. They just had Ayton come alive all the way.
That was because they didn't have to use any energy during the regular season. they just used all the energy in the bubble.
Wow.
I can get at the sun. I got Suns jokes all day.
Oh God. Oh God.
All I can say is that God bless them.
They're better than the Orlando Magic.
Marquise Chris and Dragon Bender. Oh my God.
Okay. I got Suns jokes all day.
It should have worked. It should have worked for Chris, but Suns. Dog said Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley rolling over their graves. They says, as the Bucks now get the ball back, by the way, can Giannis get it? Oh, Giannis dribbles the ball off all the way, and it turns it over. And now the Heat, the Bucks foul. Dragic, they up by 7 with 42 seconds left. And the Bucks decide to foul then. Oh, my goodness.
Giannis, so they're going to have a free throw contest with the Heat now?
Well, it's practically over. I mean, the Heat are not in the Heat weren't even in the bonus. Damn. So
the Bucks. I was just about to say, and the Bucks don't shoot it efficiently enough from the 3-point line to get back into the game. You need some people who can chuck at this time.
But the key is that Giannis, this is the difference. The Heat are up by 7. Giannis from the free throw line tonight, 4-12. And
he only went there 12 times?
Yeah, because the Heat done that box and one overall.
He's too passive with the box and one. It's a zone. You just got to dribble through it.
Well, he's tried to do it sometime, but they really have walled him off. And then Butler basically scored left. And then Butler with a steal. Jimmy Butler taking over the game. Oh, my goodness. He is taking over. He is trying to say that he is top 5 based on this whole performance. Him looking at the
you keep getting at Jimmy Butler with his top 5 quote. All right, let Jimmy was feeling himself when he made that top 5 quote. And everybody was feeling Jimmy too. That was also a little bit of an issue. Is too many people feeling Jimmy, and they didn't put Jimmy in his place.
They are, but tonight you can't deny him that because look at this stat. Because he gets 40 tonight.
There's no way you could tell me Jimmy Butler goes on the Minnesota Timberwolves and thinks he's the center point over Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns should have smacked the holy hell out of him.
Yeah, but
when he went to Minnesota talking about
in a fight.
Get the hell out of here.
That's why I get so annoyed with Rich Nichols a little bit. But I will say Karl Anthony Towns, he went back to that version where in high school he was settled for. I'm talking about in terms of attitude. When he came to Kentucky, when John Calipari was like, stop settling for threes, get into the paint. Karl Anthony Towns reverted, sadly, and this has been a really, on a personal note, not to get him at too much, but it's been real,
When Jimmy got his 40, you're right.
Yeah, with his mother passing away for COVID overall, but Karl Anthony Towns, honestly, that should have been a situation when Jimmy Butler needed to fall back a little bit. And Jeff Teague made sure it was known where everyone's saying 13, we heard from Adrian Wojnarowski, Jimmy Butler dominated them with the third team, and everything like that. And then he said, Jimmy is back. And then Rachel Nichols rushed to give him an interview. And it was just that's what really, of the many things in nature, Nichols.
I like Rachel Nichols.
Well, I know you do, Brian. I'm sure she should appreciate you liking her back overall. That's all I can say with that.
Well, yeah, no, because of my childhood. I'm like right now she's old, but I'm saying I remember when I was younger, Brian. I was like,
Brian.
No, that's not an insult. That's just a fact.
Brian, Barstool would love you, Brian. They would certainly love you. That's all I can say, Brian. They would love you overall, Final word, fellas, on this. In fact, Oklahoma City and the Rockets are about to start. I thought, all I can say is that it was a funny discussion on Sunday with me and my father. Not to mention Brian, all the way, all the way, okay? But my father thought that P.J. Tucker had overreacted in terms of the incident. He didn't see what Dennis Schroeder, what made P.J. Tucker react to that. Because I thought, P.J. Tucker's mad that Dennis Schroeder was shrewd again on the moving screen or whatever. And then I saw he was really shrewd. And you know what I mean? Brian, do you know what I mean?
Actually, I don't. I'm sorry.
All right, let me show it to you. And we're not gonna get DMCA'd, okay? We don't get DMCA'd for NBA overall. All right. So this is what goes down. And Brian, it was something that basically was a whole incident. In fact, let me just go to I'm just going to my page overall on Twitter. Even though we're not gonna get DMCA'd, so we're all gonna be all good, But it was something to behold. Where me and my father, he didn't understand at first, and it was something where I'm like, Dad, you got to see what he did. You got to see what he did to understand why this went down and why this was the way that P.J. Tucker, a real one, as we know, reacted the way that he did. All right, so let me share this overall.
I gotta see this. So
all the way. Now I'm explaining to my father all this or whatever, and we all look at my big head or whatever on there. So, all right, shut up myself. So we're gonna get to it. All right, here it is coming up at the fast forward, and now here it comes right now. Okay. So,
I remember this.
Yes, here it is. Here it is. Oh, he whacked him underneath. What is he doing? You see that? Once again, let me roll it. All the way. Looking at P.J. Tucker overreacting. And then Dennis Schroeder, who can be very, very odd to be nice about it. He has a reputation of not having many friends around the league. He's that, being a black German man has a lot of complexities, I guess. And
I like his game, man. I don't know him as a person.
Fun, but he can be kind of a little weird sometimes. And this was just something where he knew what he was doing.
Tia and Tamara are black Germans, right?
Ryan, James, do you have anything to say on that, James?
I'm thinking because of the last name, I should have drowned. That's what I was thinking. To be quite honest, I was like, that's an interesting fact.
True that, bro.
Let me look because, see, that's why J. Cole shouted him out, and that's why they were loving J. Cole with that, because they grew up on the military base overall. Was their mother? Her mother was Oh wow! It was her father. Their father that's English, and their mother that is wow, interesting. But they met in Miami though, so they wow, that's very interesting. But so they're not German like in terms of bloodline. It's just they're German because they were born on the U.S. military base in Germany. To just show you.
Yeah. Like half the kids who like half the U.S. soccer team during the mid-2000s.
Well, I mean, that's different. Jermaine Jones is like, oh wait, right? We gonna have a full discussion about that. All I can say is that I told all you people about Julian Green. I told you all. That's all I can say. I really did. Y'all didn't want to know.
Why are we talking about Julian Green in a basketball podcast?
Anyway. We just worked like that. All I can say, let me see where Julian Green is at before we end the show. Brian, do you have any last words on this whole thing where you want to add?
Isn't he in like some Division II German league?
Yes, he is.
Man.
He is still on Gunther first.
What I want to say is this. Luka Doncic is so fucking good. Like, I wish that he was black so people would stop. Because you know what I don't like? I heard a couple of them say, oh, he's like the great white hope. I was like, fuck the complexion. Look at his game. He's so young and so fucking tough. Like, could y'all stop? He's so fucking good, bro. It's like, it's the same thing with Eminem. Like, sometimes I wish Eminem wasn't white because I don't want people to be, he got reconciled because he has white skin. Like, Luka Doncic is getting hyped because of his skin complexion. I wish he was as black as Dennis Schroeder, bro, because I love his game. I love his game. And you want me to tell you why? Because I wish I could be a James Harden fan, but I can't because James Harden gets bullshit foul calls and he complains like a bitch and his game is bullshit and his game relies on the referees. Luka, the refs don't give him love. I see people get away with molesting young Luka Doncic, man. He doesn't get love from the refs like James Harden does. And that's why I empathize with LeBron James and Luka Doncic. I love those guys. And he's great. He's great. Luka Doncic is so underrated. Y'all ain't. And you know who else? Nick Wright doesn't even give him the respect he deserves. I'm like, what the fuck?
Nick Wright. Get on your distance.
Yo, if Nick Wright was really my brother, I'd be like, yo, bro, you can't go on air and say the shit that you said, saying, oh, they're just a 7 seed. How can the Clippers struggle with them? I'm like, yo, of course the Clippers struggle with them. That team is great, bro. It's the #1 offense of all time in the NBA. You're not mentioning that. Like, that means something. That means a lot. Led by, oh, God. Luka is so fucking great. Oh, my God.
All I can say is that even Rick Carlisle and Luka Doncic's mom do not love Luka Doncic more than Brian Cowan does on that. Hey, do you have anything to add, good sir, before we roll out?
I can't. There's nothing more I can add onto the fact of
Brian
confessing his love to Luka like that. There's nothing more I can say.
I feel gay. Oh, God.
No.
It's okay.
That's okay as well.
It's okay to definitely feel gay. Just to let people know. It's okay.
That's okay. I think I was going to say it's going to be interesting. I think the thing that I did take away when Brian was talking about it will be interesting to see how they officiate Luka next year. I think he now has what I like to call, you get better officiating when you have a second player who's good as well. So it's going to be interesting to see them with Porzingis and maybe if they get one more piece. I think them with Tim Hardaway, they still got a lot of secondary characters who play above their head over water a little bit, and that's what kind of fluctuates their wins and losses with Tim Hardaway and Seth Curry. If they get one more, if they get one of them to play a little bit more consistent or one more like consistent piece.
Let them get Michael Porter Jr. Woo!
Wow. That's funny.
I was going to say they're going to have to play a pretty penny to Denver because Denver is kind of just racking up I don't know what they're going to do this season because they don't have a college game to fall back on and find the most talented player and just farm that player away. I mean, essentially, if you think about it, the Nuggets are doing exactly what the Sixers were doing, except they built a winning team and then just kind of ushered that player away for a year to develop. That's the Sam Hinkie dream right there. Get your established players, get your established team, get an injured good with high talent, with a high ceiling, shepherd them away for a year, and then bring them back. That's the perfect way.
Well, all I can say is if Sam Hinkie was still running the Sixers instead of Elton Brand, he would have still found a way to then tank for Luka Doncic all the way as well. It would have this is part of the process. And on that note, soon to come, Luka Doncic song from me and my cousin Mike Oates all the way. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to this song to close out a basketball show has no name. Goodbye, everybody. For James Eddy and Brian Cowan, we are peacing out. We will see you on the next one. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Peace out until then.
I am so fly like a rocket, no Chris Paul. The drink got him pissed off. We moving that pack in the mail, it's shipped off. We ballin' no tip off. Get up in the morning, thank God that I'm living, cause I know some people ain't wake up. God, please forgive me, I know I've been sinning, go do the same shit when I wake up. Before bro died, he told me love my moms and stack my cake up. And stay 10 toes behind my brothers, cause y'all finna take off.